Welcome to the Jay and Dan Show. He is Jay and I am Jermain. And health always comes first, Jay. And it's going to be a little while before Team Canada, the junior selection camp, gets back on the ice.
Yeah, the red-white game, the third and final one, was canceled on Tuesday. The cuts were canceled, and now for 2 weeks, everybody involved with Canada's World Junior team will be quarantining retroactive to Monday. And we got a statement from Hockey Canada on Wednesday following the confirmation of 2 positive tests among players at Canada's National Junior Sport Check Selection Camp Monday. Hockey Canada's confirmed all players, coaches, and staff are considered close contacts and therefore subject to the mandatory 14-day quarantine period under Alberta Health Services. Hockey Canada will continue to abide by all protocols and guidelines set forth by the Government of Alberta and Alberta Health Services, as it is not exempt from Order 05-2020 and will put a pause on all camp activities until the quarantine period is complete. As per Hockey Canada's safety protocols, all coaches, players, staff members will go through additional testing before resuming any camp activities. The 14-day quarantine is retroactive to Monday. With more, here's Ryan Rashad.
Thorough contact tracing of 2 positive COVID cases Tuesday has uncovered every single member of Team Canada and their coaching staff and the team staff as close contacts, meaning the camp is shut down for the next 2 weeks. Everybody needs to quarantine for a full 14 days under the same orders that every other Albertan is living under right now in these COVID conditions. So Hockey Canada is still working on the details of how this is going to work. They're going to do the best they can to keep the players somewhat engaged. We're hearing about potential meetings via Zoom during this 14-day stretch, and potentially even workouts that they will do from their hotel rooms over Zoom. But let's be honest, this puts a massive dent in Canada's preparation for this tournament. You take athletes that are highly tuned like this and lock them in a room for 14 days, it is going to have a fairly significant impact. The good news for Canada is there's still a lot of runway between now and when the tournament starts in late December. Now, they did have 3 sets of exhibition games scheduled over the next 3 weekends. The first 2 weekends fall within the 14-day quarantine, so they are off. The third, I am told, is unlikely to happen. So again, every member of Team Canada's staff, every player, all in quarantine in their hotel rooms in Red Deer for the next 14 days, a result of contact tracing from 2 positive cases identified on Tuesday.
He was one of the best to ever play the beautiful game. Diego Maradona was so explosive, he displayed his immaculate skill at breakneck speeds. For many, like myself, Maradona in the 1986 World Cup was the first true introduction to football, and he was unforgettable. Maradona passed away on Wednesday at the age of 60. Maradona's death comes just 2 weeks after having surgery to relieve bleeding on his brain. Fans across the world have been paying tribute to the legendary Maradona. Argentina will decree 3 days of national mourning to honor their hero. Lionel Messi posted on his Instagram, "A very sad day for all Argentines in football. He leaves us but does not leave, because Diego is eternal. I take all the beautiful moments lived with him and wanted to take the opportunity to send my condolences to all his friends and family. Rest in peace." With Champions League games Wednesday, the soccer world honored the late, great Diego Maradona on the field, all the clubs holding a moment of silence before the start of their games. This has to be tough for Atletico Madrid manager Diego Simeone. They played together internationally for Argentina for 6 years until Maradona retired from international play in '94. Zinedine Zidane and Antonio Conte's teams playing each other. Conte calls Maradona his favorite player of all time and favorite to go up against, playing against each other in Italy from 1985 to '91. And in Munich, just before Bayern and Salzburg took to the field, they played "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina" over the speakers in the empty stadium. Diego Maradona is survived by his ex-wife Claudia and his 8 children. He was 60 years old.
As we head over to the other side. I was going to say, I love Rod's piece there on Diego Maradona.
Oh, yeah.
And the Diego Maradona documentary is available on Crave, to stream on Crave right now, and it's apparently spectacular. spectacular. I haven't seen it myself because I only watch Treehouse on the show.
That's not a bad channel.
It's pretty good. The Baltimore Ravens have disciplined strength and conditioning coach for not reporting symptoms and not consistently wearing a mask or tracking device, which may have contributed to the team's rash of COVID-19 cases. And because of the number of cases, Thursday's Ravens-Steelers game has been moved to Sunday afternoon at 1:15 Eastern Time after 7 players of the Ravens tested positive, including J.K. Dobbins, Mark Ingram, and Calais Campbell. None of those players will be eligible to play on Sunday. This is the 13th game this season the NFL has postponed or moved because of COVID, and the 3rd time the Steelers have had a game moved. And they're not happy about it. Juju Smith-Schuster. First, the NFL takes away our bye week because another team can't get their COVID situation together. Now they take away our Thanksgiving primetime game for the same reason. Shake my head. Chase Claypool said, what a joke. Eric Ebron saying simply, Orlovsky, he's good.
Very good.
Jermaine, we will have both remaining U.S. Thanksgiving games here on TSN. Washington football team against Dallas in a titanic NFC East battle at 4 Eastern. The Cowboys 8-1 all-time against Washington on Thanksgiving. And, of course, the day always starts with the Detroit Lions.
Gotta love it.
They're hosting the Texans. Matthew Stafford 4-5 on Thanksgiving. Coverage begins at noon Eastern time.
Sad news out of Dallas on Wednesday. Cowboys strength and conditioning coach Marcus Paul died after experiencing a medical emergency that forced him to be hospitalized on Tuesday. Paul was 54 years old. Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones released the following statement: the loss of family member is a tragedy, and Marcus Paul was a loved and valued member of our family. He was pleasant and calming in our strength room and throughout the Star. His passion for his work and his enthusiasm for life earned him great respect and admiration from all our players and the entire organization. We offer our love and support to his family in this very difficult time. Our hearts are broken for his family and all of the individuals whose lives he touched and made better.
Played 5 seasons in the NFL and coached 5 Super Bowl winning teams, 3 Patriots teams and 2 New York Giants teams.
Yeah, that's tough news. I mean, he was so young, right?
And Cowboys will recognize and remember him before their Thanksgiving Day game against Washington.
And now, Christian Jack explains Toronto FC's postseason in 8 seconds.
Well, they were outplayed. They're outplayed in a lot of areas. They're outthought and they outfought, and now they're out. So that's ultimately the conclusion for Toronto FC.
This has been Christian Jack explains Toronto FC's postseason in 8 seconds.
Who Delivered, brought to you by Mick Delivery. Minnesota Golden Gopher Marcus Carr, a 21-year-old guard from Toronto, delivered on Wednesday. Carr scored a career-high 35 points, hitting 4 from deep. He added 7 rebounds and 4 assists as Minnesota opens up their season with a 30-point victory. Marcus Carr, come on, you delivered.
Love to see Toronto area basketball players doing great in the NCAA. Jermaine, on Wednesday, TSN revealed the top 25 World Junior players of all time. All time. And Peter Fapa, number 1. Bure, number 2. But who would you rather have in a winner-take-all situation? Jermaine, you want to answer that before we send?
I'd take Bure.
I'd probably take Bure, too. Here is Duffy.
Special edition of the quiz with Gord, Craig, and Bob McKenzie. I believe it's Gord's second edition ever of the quiz, to which I say, can you believe it? We know the top 4 forwards based on career achievement, but if you could only have one of them for one World Junior Championship game, who would it be? Peter Forsberg, Pavel Bure, Wayne Gretzky, or Jordan Eberle? Craig.
Great question, easy answer, Jordan Eberle. It didn't matter the moment. It didn't matter whether it was a gold medal game or a big showdown. Jordan Eberle always delivered. There was never a time he didn't deliver. So when you consider the moments, the big games, the golden plays that he made in the big gold medal games, easy for me, Jordan Eberle.
Gordon Miller.
Well, he predates the medal round, so Pavel Bure, for me, he scored 27 goals in 21 games and 3 World Junior Championships. The most electrifying goal scorer I think the tournament has ever seen, a player who could single-handedly change the course of a game. Pavel Bure was a man among boys in his 3 World Juniors.
Bobby.
Wayne Gretzky. I realize the World Junior he played in was in 1978. He was just a 16-year-old Wayne Gretzky at the time. And the World Junior wasn't then what it is now, but boy, oh boy, he's Wayne Gretzky. So anytime you're going one player, one game, it's never wrong to say Wayne Gretzky. And what he did as a 16-year-old in 78 was incredible.
Who is the biggest omission from the TSN Top 25? 1996 scoring leader Jerome McGinley, 2004-2005 All-Star Dion Phaneuf, 2011 MVP Braden Shen, or 2017 MVP Thomas Chabot? Bob.
I'm going to say Jerome McGinley. And, it's easy to make a case for Phaneuf, for Chabot, or Shen because they had more hardware in terms of individual awards than Jerome McGinley, who was just the scoring leader in 1996. But I remember covering that tournament and watching the games and thinking to myself at the time, and that's my memory now, of thinking to myself, Jerome McGinley is a man, and all these other guys are boys, and there's nobody out there that can stop this guy from doing what he wants to do. So Jerome would be in my top 25.
Craig.
Dion Phaneuf, two-time All-Star defenseman at the World Junior Tournament, and he not only delivered in a skill manner, he delivered in a physical manner. He was a menace. Nobody, any opponent wanted to go out on the ice versus Dion Phaneuf. The famous double Dion was one of the great moments in World Junior hockey, but every moment he was on the ice, he was a significant difference maker.
Last word, Gord.
Thomas Chabot, for me, the only defenseman to be named the World Junior MVP in 2017. He was just a dominant player from the back end for Canada at both ends of the ice. We saw the glimpses of what we've seen now in the NHL, but Thomas Chabot controlled the game when he was out there and was a worthy MVP.
Let's see, Bob and Gord both omitted Dion a second time. That also would be a double Dion. Let's turn to the future now. Leaving aside Alexis Lafreniere, whose status for the tournament is uncertain right now. Who will be Canada's most important forward in this tournament? Quentin Byfield, Dylan Cousins, Kirby Dach, or Connor McMichael? Gord.
For me, it's Dylan Cousins. I think the offensive end, Buffalo took him in the first round of the draft. Dylan Cousins is a tremendous offensive player, but he's also terrific on faceoffs and good defensively. I think he's a guy that will, once again, have to control the game at both ends of the ice. He'll be a key player as a 19-year-old for Canada.
Bob McKenzie.
I'll go with Kirby Dach. He's already got a full year of NHL play with the Chicago Blackhawks under his belt. There's sometimes a bit of a transition when you come back from the NHL to play in this tournament, but nevertheless, there are a lot of teams that I know that when Jack Hughes and Capo Caco were the top two prospects for the draft, there were some teams out there that actually believe long-term a guy who's a big center that can put up big points like Kirby Dach could be the guy that really has an impact. So I think he's got a chance to really dominate this tournament.
Final answer, Craig.
Dylan Cousins. Every successful team has a soul, and the soul of this team, Canada, will be Dylan Cousins. As Gord pointed out, he does everything in the game, offensively, defensively. Go back to last year's gold medal game. An injured Baird Hayton, Dylan Cousins moves to the right side. He did a lot of heavy lifting to lead them to the gold medal. He'll do exactly the same thing in this year's tournament.
The fact that all four are worthy answers shows how deep Canada is heading into these World Juniors.
Exactly 1 year ago, former Calgary Flames winger Akim Aliu sent out a series of tweets that changed the hockey world on Wednesday. Aliu joined our Calgary reporter Salim Valji, not me, Salim Valji, to share his experience of that fateful day.
Akim joins us right now. So Akim, what was going through your mind exactly a year ago when you hit send on those tweets?
I actually sent those tweets from my gym. I just finished a workout, actually, and obviously I don't talk about it that much, but when I do, I kind of tell people that it wasn't planned whatsoever. Obviously, it's been in the back of my mind for almost a decade since it happened, but I guess kind of what set me off that day was the situation with Mike Babcock and Mitch Marner.
Akim, your tweets ignited a referendum on hockey culture and the way the sport is. Lots of organizations have pledged to do better, including the National Hockey League. Do you think that these organizations in the past year have done enough to make the sport more inclusive and welcoming to different communities?
The NHL, no. I think the NHL is not quite there yet in realizing that there's a real issue, or they haven't really said it. I think with their EIC announcement, to me and to our group, I think it's still a lot of posturing and not enough actually getting the bootstraps on and doing the work. So in the NHL aspect of things, I don't feel that they're anywhere near where they need to be to make real change in our game. I am seeing a positive mindset at a lot of other organizations. I think Hockey Canada is doing some really good things. Obviously, with our alliance, we're trying to continue to push forward our message of inclusivity and diversity.
So, Akeem, for the upcoming year, what are your goals and what are the goals of the Hockey Diversity Alliance?
Like I said, we have a lot of initiatives that are pretty much ready to go. Once we announce our few of the major corporate sponsors that we're going to be working with, and then we're going to start with our grassroots initiatives. We have camps planned and ready to go, and we're going to be building out other programming. We're going to continue to work at the highest level, obviously in the NHL, and in making that more diverse and inclusive. And I think just over the last month, it just shows the steps that we've made and all the hirings. And even just today, Joel Ward got hired with the Golden Knights organizations. We got Chris Stewart, we got Trevor Daley, we got Manny Malhotra. Like, we've never seen something like this before in our game. And I think it's a testament to what we've been doing. And we just hope we continue in that trajectory.
And Slim Balji, our new Calgary reporter, joins myself and Jermaine on this week's edition of the Jay and Dan podcast.
That's right.
So you can get to know him a little bit better. And Jermaine's old camera guy and Salim's new camera guy, Ryan Vardy, maybe one of the best in the biz. He's also on the podcast, and he reveals a lot of secrets about Jermaine.
Too many secrets.
When we come back, part 2 of our feature on the psychology of surrender in combat sports with Robin Black. If you saw part 1, you do not want to miss this one.
It's the worst play of the day. Crossover Classic in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Memphis forward DJ Jeff tries to check in, but look, his shirt is the wrong way. First game jitters, perhaps, for the sophomore? Man, that's just the worst.
Figure it out, Jeffries. Here's the cue, and here's a great goal. Hunter Holmes. And there is the pass to Pierre-Eric Dubé. Hunter Holmes, behind the back, backhand, Pierre-Eric Dubé. That is your highlight of the night. And this is Movember. For the entire month, Jermaine, myself, and Dan growing mustaches to raise funds and awareness for men's health. There's the link. Please donate. We want to get some more donations before December the 1st. Here's Dan, and these pictures are getting more and more disturbing, Jermaine.
That is something.
You pointed it out over here. What is going on with those little straggly
Got
hairs
some length there, too.
Not good at all. Meanwhile, Jermaine looks fantastic. Look at this. This is authority. This is a real man.
It's starting to get a little scraggly.
As for me, well, it's time for me to trim this thing. It's all over the map, and a lot of gray.
You're a real man.
A lot of gray in there, buddy.
That's a manly stash.
Now it's time for our You Blew It segment, and the only person on this show who messed up is James Duthie. During the quiz segment, as you can see, he shamelessly displayed his brand new book, Beauties, Hockey's Greatest Untold Stories, available at bookstores everywhere and online. He also displayed my book, so I can't be too upset. And there's one of his many French bulldogs.
That dog is living a fantastic life.
A really good life. Sitting in that chair, criticizing Duthie's every move.
I'm a little jealous.
I am too. Thanks for watching.